as we look at the conflict around us, in probably one of the most dangerous periods of us as a human species. If we don't take the holistic view, how we will identify the good and the bad, the right and the wrong, and perpetuate the conflict. And at this time, we can perpetuate it to our own destruction. So the figure you see there is the creator, the picture painted by William Blake. And you'll see that he has a protractor. And that protractor is exactly in the shape of the pyramids. It has the pi formula, introduces a pattern. That's the 618,382 pattern. And the containment of energy in pattern and structure. So that process doesn't stop. As complexity emerges in life, so consciousness is emerging with complexity. And the key principle that I just want to share here briefly is the principle of symbiosis, the principle of endosymbiosis. And I've always been so intrigued that some of the oldest still living life forms, lichen, the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes, that they are a wonderful example of two different forms of biological entities that have actually learned to collaborate. The mechanistic biological approach to evolution as the survival of the fittest, we've missed the basic message that nature itself has provided, and that is that it's the survival and thrival of the fittest relationships. But that mind, Smuts described so beautifully, he said, it freed us from the dungeons and shackles of natural necessity, enabled us to have choice. And it is that choice that enabled us to become creative around the resources that we have, over and beyond our natural instinct. And what we have not yet learned, it seems, from the condition of the world today, is how to make choices that actually relate to the context that has enabled that choice to be made. How to make choices that are regenerative, that are creative. And so it is so interesting that when Smuts wrote the preamble to the draft preamble to the Bill of Human Rights for the United Nations Organization, he spoke about the sacred right of the personality, and that was not quite understood at the moment. It became the right of the person. And the superpersonality was the opportunity to ensure that that divine evolutionary potential of each individual could be realized. It provides us with a very, very clear model of what freedom can look like in society and what the individual can look like. So suprapersonality, our institutions, our governances, our states, our businesses, the way we organize society is to ensure the sacredness of that process. We call this archetype, the BO archetype, we call that the clansman, where cooperative systems have been developed, where communities come together and develop norms and customs. And so this is an expressive system where the focus is on self-survival. This is a sacrificial system where the focus is on the survival of the community. This system of community becomes stifling for the individual, and so they break out into what we call the warrior. But it is that very order of the gatekeeper that provides the environment for contract, that provides the environment for agreement, for collaboration, which takes us to the entrepreneur, the person that wants to build, the builder, the doer, the meaning maker, the achiever. And so the entrepreneur is again expansive, and it drives the world economic system. And so we have this powerful tension at the moment in the planet between ideology and our economic system. The tensions take us to the humanist. The humanist looks at the denial of human rights. And it seems as though our ethics have become stuck here at this level of the humanist. We don't have time for smart talk. What we need is living experiences of embodied holistic perspective and practice. And so in the Holos project, we are looking to see the perspective realized in practice in embodied living. The shaman is one that is able to know where people's gravitas of awareness is and be able to talk to that and to able to respond and act to that presence. The more I am in the dynamical now, the greater is my agility. There's a direct link between presence and agility. The more agile I am, the greater the quality of engagement. The greater my sensory apparatus, my natural responses are able to engage with what I'm dealing with. The more I have that quality of engagement with myself, with my community, with my society, the greater my resilience, the greater our collective resilience. We can take it.
If you're interested in this, make your way to the details on that page, or any links for registration and so forth are listed on the website. So here we have the web page with the training program for 2022. Semester 1, 4 weeks of that. The second semester with another 4 sessions. Each session is on a Sunday and 2 hours long. Then we have the third semester starting in June, and then the final semester, the 4th semester, in July, completing on the last day of July, the 31st.
And just a closing statement from me is, when the children of Israel in the old biblical story decided they're leaving Egypt, things had gotten horrible in Egypt. They started moving out, and they were then confronted by the Red Sea. So Pharaoh changed his mind, and coming from the back was Pharaoh's army. In front of them was the Red Sea. No place to go. Trapped. Trapped with the old coming to get them, trapped by this impenetrable barrier into this new, into the way to the so-called promised land. But there's a very, very powerful message. And the message to Moses is, get the priests to actually step into the water. Step into it. Walk into it. And then you know the story. As they walk into the sea parts. So we're facing, as a human species, we're facing a Red Sea of consciousness. And with the little tools that we have, the ark that we have, of faith and trust in the goodness of being, we're going to walk into that sea. And there's a journey on the other side.